Hi everyone. So today I'm finishing off the section on bringing the law to life for the law of timing. And it's basically just bringing everything together. So there's no scripture to look at. There's nothing for us to focus on except to recap what we've done over the past week. And basically John Maxwell is just telling us, spend a few minutes reviewing these leadership thoughts. Right timing makes a good decision better. When leaders fail to seize the moment, they undermine their leadership. There's a right season for everything. Good discernment precedes good decisions. So we can improve our sense of timing by observing the timing of others. Right now in our industries, there's a big push for AI, which is a good thing. I think it is going to take away a lot of jobs, but those of us who have embraced AI see the benefits of it. I mean, before we didn't have computers, and most of us love using computers and they improve things. Most of us love fast speeds for our internet. We didn't have that before. We're able to get messages out quickly because of it. So the law of timing is important, and if we don't embrace the new technologies that are coming up, we're just going to be left behind. So praying it through, there's a suggestion here from John Maxwell. I'm just going to read the prayer out. Dear God, I recognize that you have provided a season for everything and that I fit into your divine purpose. I ask for discernment to understand your timing. Give me wisdom and courage to make the right decisions, regardless of the cost, for I don't want to miss out on the plan you have for my life. Amen. So that's good, because God has a plan for everybody's life the same way He had a plan for Esther's life. And He has a plan for our lives, for your life, for my life. Life is the only thing we can't get back. The hurricane that we had in the US, it could have been worse, and my prayers were answered because it was not as bad as it could have been. It died down a lot. Of course, it would have been nice if it had subsided altogether, but they had systems in place to get people to evacuate. They had bunkers set up. They were well prepared in the US. If something like that had to happen in another place, I don't think anybody would be as well prepared. It's like when there was the war in Europe. Many people took shelter in the subways, and that was because they couldn't build bunkers for everybody. So for me, I mean, yes, I was worried about it because I like the Americans, and I went to bed very late last night and I got up very early, so I might look a bit tired, but I'm glad my prayers were answered. And I think it's important because we live in a connected world. We live in a world that we basically depend on each other. And it's the same thing with our recruitment strategies. Things that are not considered discrimination here are considered discrimination overseas, and vice versa. Today I attended a training on modern interviewing, and some of it is things I already knew, just making sure your candidates are comfortable, following up with them, finding out if they need accommodation. Like for me, I don't pass these tests that Teleperformance has. No matter how many times I do them, I don't seem to pass them. So I don't know which questions I'm failing, but it's one of those things. I'm a master's qualified individual. So, the technical stuff, I'm not that great at it. But with relationships, I'm good. With interviews, I'm good. I've done board work. So, I mean, if they're willing to lose me as an individual, then that's their choice, because they should have found something for me first. They should have valued me enough and respected my scores and my tenure and everything enough to find something else for me. Unfortunately, they're not doing that. So they're putting the onus on me to go online and apply for other jobs, and that's what I'm doing. And if I get something else, that's good, but I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, because today there's no loyalty. The companies are not loyal to you, and they don't expect you to be loyal to them. You know, when we grew up, love was everything, peace was everything, stability was everything, valuing people's lives was everything. Today, here in Canada, they're more about protecting the company than anything else. So we have to protect ourselves a little bit. And it's the same thing with resumes. So when I came here from England, when you do your resume or your CV in England, you always have to put a photo of yourself. And when I went to England, I didn't know that. So one of my friends guided me, Rose Barreto. She said, you always have to talk to the recruiters and find out, because I showed her my resume and she said, your resume is good, but you have to put a photo. In Canada, they discriminate. They say, don't put a photo. So you have to remove your photo. And that's something I had to get used to when I came here, because people like to see who is coming, who are they going to be interviewing. So they say that's discrimination. I say it's the opposite. So this is what keeps happening, because everything I say, they say it's the opposite. So obviously I'll end up getting hurt. That's why I join these things. I join these calls. I join these trainings, because unfortunately I'm stuck here. I keep trying to go back to London, but nothing works out for me. So I have to make the best of it, and I have to upgrade my skills, and I have to keep learning. And this is again about the law of timing. The same way that Esther had to adapt, I have to adapt. And I do tell them my point of view. If they don't like it, like the bankers, like Credit Suisse and all these people, I also don't like it. So they have to be willing to meet me halfway and realize that I have not only worked in this country, I've worked in Zimbabwe, I've worked in South Africa, I've worked in England, I've had teams reporting into me from Western Canada. So they also have to respect me as an accomplished person. And then the points, just to sum up these points here today, based on day 3, what season of life or what season of your career would you say you are in right now? There's the planning phase, the season to capture God's vision for you and your people. There's the planting phase, the season to cast out your vision to people and lay the groundwork to carry it out. There's the season of summer, so the season towards completing your vision, the season of relaxation, the season of things coming to life, spring and summer, and then the season of producing, the production I had mentioned, where we go onto the floor, where we're hired, we have the job, and now we have to perform. Or we plant and then we are reaping our harvest. And sometimes we get a bad harvest because of the environment we're planted in. If I had been in England with my skills and qualifications, I would get a job instantly as an executive assistant. I wouldn't be sitting at home for 5 months, 6 months, sitting at home, pounding the pavements, going out every day. I would have been hired in no time. But it is what it is. I have to make the best of it. And then the producing phase is where we realize and celebrate the accomplishments or the completion of our visions, and we take our hopes with us. So, for example, when I went to work on the camp, that was one of my dreams. That was one of my goals when I was at university as a student. But I didn't have the money to go. I couldn't apply for the visa. So when I was in England, I applied for it and I got it. Many people were not happy for me, but I was happy. Because again, it's not their life, it's my life. And if they can't be happy for me, they have to deal with it. Because I'm not going to sit around and waste my life trying to make other people happy. If I have goals, if I have dreams, if I have things I want to accomplish, like everybody else, I'm going to go out and do them. If I was a thief, or I was breaking into people's homes or murdering people or stealing from them, then yes, sit and cry. But don't sit and cry because I'm getting to do phenomenal things. I'm getting to do amazing things, that my life is being blessed. To me, it doesn't make sense. It's like if I see my nieces who are younger than me singing at school or performing in a play, and I say, oh, look at what they're doing. I never got to do that. How selfish is that of me? I don't like it. So we can reflect on what season we are in. What is one thing we can do to fulfill the season and bring it to fruition, to develop our potential and our purpose. And then we can take this and we can pass it on to other people like I'm doing. You can pass it on to your friends. You can pass it on in your workplaces. And I can tell you now, adjusting to being in Canada after living in England, it was a big adjustment for me. I couldn't believe how small the subway was, that there were only 2 lines. I couldn't believe how long you had to wait for buses to get to places. I couldn't believe how inefficient things were. I couldn't believe the prices of things when I came here. It was a big adjustment for me. And I had to do everything on my own. So it made it very, very hard. Even my television. I only got that television last year. Other people have televisions, they have cars, they have everything. But I had to do it on my own. So I had to plan what was more important, getting a television or taking some courses to upgrade my skills. And taking the courses was more important. So I watched YouTube, I watched whatever I could on my computer. And now, after all these years, I've got a television. So I'm not an entitled person like people say I am. You need to get to know me before you listen to what other people are saying about me. So that's it for today. Next week or tomorrow, I'll be starting the next section and we'll be moving on. And if you do have anyone looking for a speaker to help migrants or to help with speaking, do contact me and let me know. And also for executive assistant jobs or jobs in HR, in management, let me know. People have been reaching out to me and I do appreciate that. I have been applying to the jobs that are being sent to me. And I think AI is a good thing. I love it. I think we all need to embrace it. Before, we didn't have computers, we didn't have all the things we have now. And I enjoy it. I enjoy social media. I like keeping up with the tennis, keeping up with different things that I follow, the Olympics. Some of my favorite athletes are retiring, including Rafa Nadal. And I'll still continue to follow him, his foundation. Same with Roger Federer. I didn't have a lot of money to give them, but whatever I gave, $10 or $20, to me, I don't even earn that money. I don't even earn $20 an hour. So it was a huge amount of money. If I was earning what I should be earning, which is $35 to $40 an hour or $50 an hour, it wouldn't have been such a big deal for me. But for me, it's a big deal because I don't even earn that, what I gave them. So I hope and pray that they will be happy, and I hope that Rafa will continue to do good work. He's a good example for people, and I'm very blessed. I got to see 2 of his matches live on TV, and that's only now in recent years, because before, all I did from morning to night was focus on my job search. Because every time I got a job and they let me go, I had to look for my next opportunity. So I didn't take any time for leisure, for holidays, for enjoying life, because I was too worried of landing up on the street and landing up with nowhere to live. And I knew that I couldn't rely on anyone. So that's how I lived in Canada. And it's really sad. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. And I'm still praying that I get that break and that I get that opportunity, and that God will open up those doors for me. So that's it for today. The session I did today was good. There were good reminders, good pointers. But again, there's things, like I said, that Canada says is discrimination, which I do not consider discrimination. And there's things that I consider discrimination, which they do not. So I come up against VPs and managing directors, and I tell them, to me, putting a photo on your resume is not discrimination. They think it is. It's just a matter of opinion, because I lived in a different country, which they haven't.